NewsBiscuit. Real fake news.
Welcome to NewsBiscuit, the UK's original fake news. NewsBiscuit, longer lasting than Liz Truss, but more fragrant than Boris Johnson. I'm your host, Renfo, and I'm joined by the only two people yet to become Chancellor of the Exchequer, Chipchase.
Hello.
And Flash Arry.
Hello.
This month, eco-terrorists cover artwork in cheap soup, thus plagiarising Andy Warhol. The government solves prison overcrowding by promoting them to the House of Lords. And children are excited that we only have 2 more prime ministers until Christmas.
Yay.
And so that brings us to our first round news in brief, where our panelists select their favourite headlines. Flash Arry, what do you have for us?
Dulwich woman finds the arse of Jesus in a bag of Monster Munch.
We're all looking for the arse of Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, it's obviously, she must have some sort of previous to be able to recognise it.
Monster Munch, of course, is the king of snacks. That's my memory from my childhood. Is always
flavour.
Oh God, yes, and the sheer size of it. That's the thing. As a small child, one little bit of Monster Munch was the size of your head. If I was to go to a dinner party and someone was to take 2 slices of cheap white bread and put Monster Munch in the middle, I would be going, yes, give that to me.
My school lunches there, crisp sandwiches. Lovely.
No, Monster Munch is great.
Oh.
Is it just a British thing, Monster Munch? I don't know. Do they have it in other countries? Okay, if any of our listeners are coming in from abroad, imagine a crisp that is being blown up beyond all recognition into some huge shape. That is what Monster Munch is. Doesn't disappoint. Right, sorry. I'm just regressing. I could do a whole hour on my love of Monster Munch.
If you look at the back of your house, you'll see a big box.
Right, sorry. Arry.
Britain's strictest school bans students from wearing vegetables. This was a wonderful piece of whimsy about 14-year-old, schoolboy having his cauliflower footwear taken away from him.
It's almost like a Spike Milligan thing. I can imagine Spike drawing a little diagram of a kid. This really says scrawny kid, but he's got cauliflowers for feet.
The kids would be fighting about which particular brassica was more hip than others.
Yes, branded vegetables.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I'm kind of
purple sprouting broccoli. So much better than.
See, and you try explaining to kids today that we used to wear vegetables for school, and they wouldn't believe you.
No, they wouldn't believe you, would they?
But it was a thing. It was definitely a thing.
We lived in a potato. We did.
Yeah, a blazer woven out of Brussels sprouts. I mean, but they weren't
quilted together. That'd be nice.
Yeah, you used to go to school and you'd go to what's for lunch? And she'd say you're wearing it. All right, what else we got?
One that struck quite close to my heart was software development no longer Britain's sexiest profession. Well, they hog all the glory while us system integrators do all the work. So it's
all the models flock to them, do they? Is that the?
Oh, they get that. It's all the glory. It's all the glory, and none of the work. It's an appalling injustice on hardworking engineers like myself. And the last one I had was model disguises herself as Burberry hand luggage.
They're so small that they could just get folded into compact space. Is that the...
Exactly, sort of turning sideways to avoid detection and technically lighter than a bag of marshmallows.
And then at least the models that would be going out with software engineers. Chase, what about yours?
Trustpilot server crashes after more poor reviews than it can cope with are logged.
Well, it's tricky because you don't want to talk too much about the Prime Minister because...
We've been going 10 minutes. We've probably had 2 since then.
She's going to be going one of those great pub quiz questions, isn't she? Yeah, who was the Prime Minister between X and Y? And you'd be like, who was it? Did we have one there? No. Poor old Liz Truss. She didn't stay long enough, really, for me to properly hate her. She was so brief, like a mayfly. She just sort of came into our lives and went. What's that thing? The light that burns twice as bright burns half as long, and that is Liz Truss. Yeah, she was just. I mean, out on NewsBiscuit, we maybe got like 5 or 6 good gags out of her, and then she was out the door, and that was very frustrating.
Everybody likes a good pun. Missing returning officer was out for the count.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, somebody getting these from a cracker, aren't they?
Yeah, you see, when you say everyone likes a good pun, you don't read the reviews of our podcast, do you?
No, I know.
You don't get the letters of complaint.
Michael Gove moves to Times Radio. Kwasi Kwarteng moves to the Beano.
Oh,
Oh, Kwasi Kwarteng. Again, there's someone I didn't get to know him, I feel. And I didn't get to make jokes at his expense because he's like a poor man's Boris Johnson. Bumbling, effervescent, kind of
like a mad sort of lecturer that you might have got, with a big booming.
It was one of the best headlines with Kamikaze.
Oh yeah,
nice.
That was.
And you sort of think, well, even if it was just for that one gag, you've earned it.
Yeah, exactly. He's earned his retirement.
Well, of course, what a lot of the big newspapers do is they hold back on some of their best headlines because they go, "Oh, we'll do them later on," when it's a really good moment. And of course, with someone like him, you're like, "No, we got loads of puns. Oh, we couldn't release them." You're just like, "Oh, can we not just
get him back for a few weeks?"
Yeah, pretend Jeremy Hunt is someone else, and then can we?
I'll tell you what, make him Home Secretary because that's that's an in and out job, isn't it?
It's an in and out job.
Yeah, right. Here we go. Next one, I suppose. It's our dream to see a taxi deport Braverman from the Home Office, says most of the UK.
Well, when was that written? Because obviously she's back again.
Yeah, I know.
There was us all convinced that she was going, and no, she's like a boomerang. An evil boomerang.
Yeah.
An evil racist boomerang that just comes straight back.
There's a child's book in there somewhere, isn't there?
The evil racist boomerang.
Ralph Harris used to sing that, didn't he?
Too soon.
Yeah. Oh, what? What's happened? Liz Truss applies triple lock to front door of Downing Street.
Bless her. Did she get a new? Did she have a special lectern that was made for her?
Yeah, she did. She had a twisty turny lectern.
Yeah, it looked like it'd been made in a 3D printer.
Right. During that, I was trying to think, what the hell does that remind me of? Yes, it's exactly what it looked like.
So I mean, there's two things there. There's some guy or gal has whittled this lectern and spent, and it's a really quick job. They put it together, and it's never going to get used again, is it?
No, and he wanted to tell all his family, see that? I made that. For years, for the next 5 years.
So is there a lectern storage room?
Yes, I want there to be. There to be. Maybe a big chunk of Downing Street is, as you say, lectern storage.
I saw something online in one of the online papers. It showed the 4 different lecterns of Cameron, Truss, Joris.
No, there's a museum. There's a museum.
What a wondrous museum. That needs to be on the Isle of Wight if it needs to be anywhere. The Museum of Lecterns of Failed Politicians. And the only alternative with them is to tie the lectern to the failed prime minister and then to hurl both off of a bridge and let them drown with the.
They'd be quite heavy. They'd be, but they would sort of weigh you down. I reckon. You wouldn't let the fall on you.
The irony. You wanted something. You wanted something made of oak. Well, you should have gone for a lighter.
Balsa wood
would have saved you, but
balsa wood lectern that was as flimsy as my government.
Yeah.
Woman who said you can't uninvent nuclear weapons, now uninventing the economy.
Is that what Liz Truss said? You can't uninvent nuclear weapons? Was that?
I guess so. In a moment of witty moment of prime ministership,
would it be
when she was threatening Putin?
Yeah, I was going to say, would it be in response to one of those questions they always ask politicians? I never know why they ask them about, would you use nuclear weapons? And you're seen as a wimp if you go, well, no, because that's madness. But you have to all go kind of macho and go, oh yeah, absolutely. I love them. Oh, I'm going to use them. Oh, I love nuclear weapons. Because that's a weird kind of logic there, that because something is invented, she therefore feels obliged to use it.
Yes.
I mean, she's not someone I want in a room with a big red button because she can't she can't stop herself. She's going, well, it's there. I had to use it. No, this just shows her self-restraint. Just because the thing exists doesn't mean you've got to.
Prince Harry, I'm looking forward to reading my book.
Yeah, it might fill in some of the gaps for him.
Yeah.
Your crayon. I struggle to summarize Harry's life so far. he went to a lot of Nazi parties. That's how I remember in his teenage years. That nobody seems to talk about now. That's fine because we all went to Nazi parties as kids. And then he was in a war briefly, and then he married a lady. And that's it, isn't it? Is there any other events that he's been involved in? Because isn't he still on the list? Because although he's not in the royal family, isn't he on the list of kind of backups if the king is poorly? And it's a great list because it's got Prince Andrew on as well, hasn't it?
Him and Uncle Andy, isn't it? And
dream team.
I'm trying to think of any kind of thing that I might do in my life where I want Prince Andrew as a backup. Babysitter? No. Running a scout troop? No, that's not it. I don't want him as backup.
Hasn't he been left the corgis?
Yeah, he's been left the corgis in the will. Yes, he has, hasn't he? There's probably a royal title or a medal that comes with that. Such an odd one to get in the will, because particularly as other people would have got in the will bits of Britain. So someone would have got Wales and someone would have got Cornwall.
Queen or Diamond, that kind of thing.
Yeah, he gets a bunch of kind of dogs.
Jasper, Lasper, and Frasper, or whatever they're called. I don't know what they're called.
Yes, I don't know what they're called. They're probably named after sort of German stormtrooper battalions, and we just don't know. And it's one of those secrets that the royal family have kept. Have you met Blitzen?
You're well on the way out.
Our next round is True Biscuit, where our panel has to guess which is a real headline and which is a fake one.
For good luck, sumo wrestlers make babies cry.
Okay. Okay, is this okay? All right. For whom is this lucky? Is it lucky for the sumo wrestler? Or is it
sumo wrestlers?
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that how they make them cry? Do they just go up to the baby and go, "I am you"? Just an inflated version.
Yeah. This will be you in 40 years' time.
This is what you've got to look forward to.
This is you if you drink too much from the sippy cup. Just like a warning.
They go up and get very close up to them, go and things like that. Apparently.
Hold on. Is this just that they're not breaking into people's houses, are they?
No.
Or breaking into maternity wards.
No, before crucial bouts.
Babies are brought to them.
Yes.
As snacks.
Yeah, to be frightened out of theirs.
I mean, obviously, we do kind of kissing babies. Politicians do kissing babies thing.
Yeah,
it's
same principle, I suspect.
But with more tears. So parents are willingly putting their children through this trauma. And how do they make them cry? You say they just pull faces and make noises?
Pull faces and make noises.
They don't like thump them.
No, because that would be cheating. Because they would cry, then definitely. They have to do it. It's like one of those puzzles.
What sort of parenting regime have you been running there?
Well, I want them to cry. I mean, I'm going to be sure of it. I don't want any ambiguity. And if I'm a sumo wrestler and my career is resting on a baby crying, I'm damn right I'm making that baby cry. So I'm pinching its ear. Yeah. I'm, telling him about the cost of living crisis. I'm doing everything I can to bring out tears.
Yeah, well,
drop kicking it out of the stadium.
Yes, drop kicking the baby. Yeah, and so should the baby look happy and smile, which sometimes babies do. You go close to baby, they're just like, happy to see you.
Yeah.
Does that mean that bad things will happen?
Well, yeah, it possibly means that sumo number 2 will flatten them or something. I'm not quite sure what it means, but what you're looking for is tears, apparently.
What you're looking for is tears. That's so profound.
Yeah.
It's the title of his 1970 album that he released, isn't it? But like any tradition, then it must have started at some point.
Yeah.
But and did it? So did it happen by accident? I.e., someone made a baby cry and then he went, that's a tradition, or did just some sumo guy just demand babies?
That's a very dark path to go.
Yeah. Well, that's
Bring
it.
me babies.
And was it? Yeah. And then people were just too scared to say no to him. You go, what are you going to do to the babies? Nothing nice. And you're like, all right. Well, get your babies.
Have this one, then.
I get this impression. I don't know. It's like these gurning competitions that you get in the north of England, where you put a horse's bridle or a horse's collar around your face, and then take your false teeth out and make sort of
Yeah, but they
preposterous
don't.
faces.
They don't bring in
It's
the
that-
the
it's that
local
sort of thing, I
primary
guess.
school to traumatize them at the same
Well,
time.
they are trying to zoosh it up a bit. I mean, you could zoosh it up by doing that, couldn't
Well,
you?
Can you translate this into other sports? So, prior to
Hmm.
the England's, football World Cup, do we just bring in a load of kids and make them vomit? It's not for me to say, it's for Arry to make the judgment. But I'm saying if this is true, we need to be phoning the police, do we? Or social services? Because
Why shouldn't there be crying babies? You know, like and
for
impaling chicken.
ethical reasons, Arry, that's why there shouldn't be crying babies. I've got to ask the question. I mean, how far have you gone from the path? Why shouldn't there be crying
It's been a
babies?
hell of a week.
Right, that's
I'm not
hard.
condoning it. I can make headspace for it. I think it's true. I'm erring on the dark side at the moment.
There's Halloween.
Yeah, I mean, if you told me a Sith Lord had done it, then yes, I believe that's what Sith. But sumo, okay. Well, Chipchase, is this a terrible sport?
It's a 400-year Japanese tradition that if a sumo wrestler can make your baby cry, it means he or she will have a healthy life. No, I don't know if that's a bit ambiguous.
Oh,
isn't
right.
it?
So it's not
Is
for
that the sumo wrestler or is that
It's
the
not
wrestler?
for the wrestler's benefit. It's for the
No, it's for the
benefit.
for the
For the
baby.
baby's benefit, so they do go to maternity wards.
Well, listen, I'll read further. During a special ceremony, parents hand over their infants to sumo wrestlers who bounce the precious tots up and down and sometimes even roar in their little faces to get tears flowing. Here's a quote from my mother. He's not a baby that cries much, but today he cried a lot for us, and we're very happy about it.
After he'd been battered and then screamed at, he bizarrely started to cry. What were the chances? Arry, what's your story?
Liz Truss would kill off family members to avoid BBC Question Time.
I mean, we do know she likes to avoid interviews, but I mean, that's not surprising. I mean, Boris Johnson famously hid in a fridge,
He did,
didn't he,
yeah.
to avoid being interviewed. How long do you stay in a fridge for as well until you know the coast is clear?
What the star rating on his back say?
Yes. Okay, so Liz Truss, so she's claiming that she'll kill family members of her own family or other people's families.
Oh no, she'd pretend that minor members of her family.
Yeah. Like me Auntie Doris has just paid.
Oh, sorry. I thought she was just offering to kill people in exchange for avoiding it. And I thought, wow, she really is committed to getting out of interviews.
Sorry, we can't do question time this week. Liz's granddad died. So far, that's 6 granddads that have died.
Well, you're absolutely right,
Yeah.
Chipchase. You just run out of relatives, don't you, after a while with that as a line?
do.
If you have a big extended family and nobody's doing any checking up,
Yeah.
So a lot of second
I mean, you can
cousins. I always worry when people start lying on that kind of scale as well, because you've then got to be quite consistent with your own lie. I've got to have a mourning period.
Yes.
And I've got to think about what I'm wearing for the next few days. I've got to make a big effort not to be seen on sort of any roller coasters or
Illegal
dancing.
parties, that kind of thing.
Yeah, because it's not going to look good.
Yeah,
And I don't think
yeah.
Liz Truss is bright enough to follow through and keep consistent with the lie. I think she'd get found out rather quick.
It's like that thing when you used to phone in for work. I can't come in today. I got a terrible cold and all that. And next day I come in. Sort of full
just
of
24 hours.
How's the cold? Oh, it's cleared up. Thanks very much. Yeah, went away quickly. That kind of thing.
You put on your poor dead relative voice and ring the Question Time studio.
Oh, she can't come in.
But it's in question time. It's in question time anyway. It's a voluntary thing. It's not like national service or jury. Was she then gutted when she became prime minister because she's like, bollocks, I've killed off everyone and I've got no more excuses. She's used the get out of jail card too early.
I think it's true.
Because she's got that sort of slightly nervous look about her, hasn't she? You're trapped in the headlights of life.
Yes.
Okay, Arry, true or false?
True. A quote from the article says, "We ran out of excuses to go on Question Time, so eventually we had to do it."
Yeah, HR departments would love her. We get a second round of
Oh,
trivia
do we?
because we're very lucky this time. Back to you again, Chipchase. Have you got another one?
The master of suspense, Alfred Hitchcock, had a morbid fear of eggs.
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 Not
Just your
sumo
eggs.
wrestlers, because
Nope,
they look very
eggs.
similar in shape.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
in solid form or in cooked form, or
I think both. I think both.
It would make sense why there was never a prequel to the birds then.
Yeah, the eggs.
Yes, very good.
Brilliant.
I suppose there's an element of sort of that is slightly unsettling about an egg because it does just sort of sit there, but there's this kind of surprise. You know what's
Yeah.
inside it. Is it a yolk or is it an actual sort of chick or what have you? I guess there's like
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't like
Yes.
kind of very small scale surprises, then an egg would be unsettling.
Caterpillars metamorphosis into a butterfly. So where they're in the cocoon or whatever it is, that's your eggs. That's the same sort of thing going on with your eggs, isn't it? Maybe
Well, they got butterflies in them.
Yeah, come out, butterflies come out. Yeah.
I think if any of our viewers know anything about biology and want to get in contact with NewsBiscuit, I think there might be a few factual errors in this episode that we might need to address.
He must have been fun around Easter.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, all the other kids are just running around frolicking in the garden. He's sort of
Why doesn't Alfred want? Why doesn't Alfred want to go on the egg hunt? Yeah.
I guess then is this kind of the reason that he ended up doing lots of sort of horror movies and the like and thrillers. Is it's all driven by his innate fear of eggs? The egg is the MacGuffin.
The egg MacGuffin, yeah.
the egg MacGuffin. Yes. Yes, that's when you order something at McDonald's.
Yeah, you can't get it after.
And you get something that you're not expecting. The egg MacGuffin.
And you can't get it after 11, of course.
Yes. Right. Okay. Stupid stories you bring me. Stupid stories. When are we going to get?
Stupider the better.
I thought I was on a proper news quiz, but no.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Arry, eggs. Really? What? Come on then. Tell us. True, false? I don't know.
Let's go for true.
Good. Chew. Is this true, Chipchase?
Explained in an interview in 1963, I'm frightened of eggs. Worse than frightened, they revolt me. That white round thing without any holes, and when you break it, inside there's that yellow thing round without any holes.
Sorry, he seems to be fixated on the lack of holes.
Yes.
Does he just anything that doesn't have holes he doesn't trust?
So his dad of Swiss
Like
cheese.
donut.
Lives on Swiss cheese.
Yeah, he loves a donut. What's a weird reason to hate a thing?
I
Like,
know,
you
it's
didn't go,
very strange.
I don't like an egg because, things go inside of it. I go, all right, I get where you're coming from. But I don't like it because it's white and yellow, doesn't have a hole. I like,
Yeah.
So do many things.
yes.
But phobias and fears, who knows what causes them, eh?
Right, well, thank you for sharing.
That's all right.
Strange fellow. Right, Arry, have you got another one for us?
Somerset woman stages naked protest at overgrown bush.
Let's put the pun to one side. The bush in question is not her own. She's talking about a actual
hedgerow outside her house.
Ah.
The protest was to get the local authority to come in and cut the hedge, cut the bush back. Sorry, it's gonna get like that now.
Yeah.
So she could use the footpath, and she staged a naked protest at which placard she was holding said, "I've trimmed my bush, now highways trim yours."
I see. Well, I see what she's done there. She's gone.
She's used the pun. She's used the pun as well.
Yeah, she's gone very literal. Is that the only way you can get the attention of your local county council, by stripping naked? Because my bin men are very
Well, I
nice,
stand
and if
naked
I
and
ever have
watch
to leave out any extra kind of recycling, they'll pick it up straight away. At no point have they said, "Yeah, can you also get a little bit naked for us?"
Could be attention seeking,
I think she is. And how would you know she's naked? She's stuck behind this huge bush.
Yeah.
We've only got her word for it.
And what size was the placard? Was it a sandwich board? Was it just small?
Yeah,
like a piece
she's
of A4?
hiding.
Or
She's a
was it a great
tease.
big box of a thing?
She's a tease.
It's
gonna be like- It's going to be like one of those things that you used to have in pubs with those pictures of topless women covered by the peanuts, and you buy the peanuts.
Oh yes.
Meet the naked girl, and
Yeah.
and often she would be naked, and you'll be like, "No, I've eaten 500 pounds worth of
Yeah,
peanuts,"
yeah,
and
yeah.
she's
I
clothed.
need to see a nipple.
It's the exact same principle of those
Yeah.
things that come out just after Christmas. Build the Bismarck. We're stuck to a bit of a magazine. It ends up costing about $2,000 to build the bloody.
Exactly. I think she'd need to. If I was the council, I'd need her to show me a little bit of something She needs to stick a bit of her naked
I think she
body.
has.
She needs to stick a little bit of her naked body through the bush, so I can. So then I know for sure there's a naked woman on the other side, and it's worth my while to trim the bush. Because otherwise, yeah, I'm not going to get tricked that way. I get tricked that way by women all the time. They promise me stuff, and they're just hiding behind shrubberies and things. And it's no.
I used to trim hedges for a living, and this sort of thing never happened to me.
That's why any guy does any job, no matter what it is. On the off chance that one day there'll be a naked woman. No context. There'll just be a naked woman. And you'll go, oh, brilliant. Now I can die happy. I saw a naked woman. And yeah, if you, Arry, I feel sorry for you. If you were the bush trimming business and at no point you saw nudity, that is a sad story.
Well, I was probably doing it wrong.
Well, you probably weren't standing on the ladders and peering in through bedroom windows.
Yeah, you got to do it properly, Arry.
That was a film in the 70s, Confessions of a Hedge Trimmer.
Is this lady then stuck into a cycle of every time she wants anything done in terms of, bushes trimmed and she's got to get naked to get?
Well, she's rather played the trump card too soon.
She's gone for the ultimate.
My wife would be the first to tell you that as a woman, you don't play the naked card until the very last time. Yeah, but we've been married, years and years now, and she's yet to play it. She's holding it in reserve because she knows that she gets the best behavior from me with just the hint of that. Does it lose currency after a while? Do you end up you just see her walking naked into your shop and you're like, I don't even know what she's going to ask. I mean, it could be anything. Yeah, where does this madness lead to?
Naked protest at her naked protest. Yeah, the whole of southern Somerset dies of exposure doing a cold.
Chipchase.
Wow.
Naked women, are they true or false? I mean, I've never seen one myself. So
I've heard rumors of them. I think this has a ring of truth about it. I'm going to go with true.
It's only because he's hoping you've got photographs out.
Yeah.
Later.
Yes.
It is true. It is true. A woman called Jill White from Tapworth in Somerset, which caught my eye because that's the village I was born in. So it's nice to know that the old place hasn't changed that much.
So, Arry, is this another thing that you've missed? So you've pursued a career in cutting hedges, saw no naked women. You grew up in the village where the naked women lives, and you still missed it.
Yeah.
I know.
He's God, yeah. Everyone take their clothes off. He's left the town. He'll hate this. Yeah, the day you stop trimming hedges again, there's naked congas going through gardens, and you've missed it all. Finally, we reach the magic 8 ball. Each of our guests is going to give us their predictions for next month's news. Okay, panelists, what headlines can we look forward to? Chipchase.
Consternation in the party as it emerges. Liz Truss and Kwasi Kwarteng are to organise the Tory party Chris up.
Moody's credit rating for UK economy revised to willfully feckless.
And that brings us to the end of this episode, and I can reveal this month's winner are Downing Street decorators. I'd like to thank our guests, Chipchase.
Goodbye.
And Flash Arry.
Goodbye.
And I leave you with these headlines. US court accepts that Twin Towers coffee shop can be called Ground Zero. That's so bad taste, but that is a good pun. 10 Downing Street advertised on Airbnb, perfect for short stays. And striking teachers told, it's your own time you're wasting.
Yes.
You've been listening to NewsBiscuit, free to read and free to write for. We accept submissions from any budding satirist, young or old. Visit newsbiscuit.com to submit headlines, stories, and to support new writers.
NewsBiscuit, real fake news.
I mean, obviously, kind of Magic 8 Ball. Sometimes people make predictions of who's, prime ministers and things, but we genuinely can't do that this episode because who knows? What's weird about it, Saturday morning, I did think as I logged in, should I be checking to see who the prime minister is? we're getting through them at a rate of knots, where our gags only last a few hours. I did wonder if during the episode, every couple of minutes, I would interrupt us with updates as to
I think we
a new
should, yeah.
a new
That's a
prime
good idea.
minister. Now it's James Corden. Now it's such and such. But I
Sooty.
City.